the big political story we're tracking, Sachin Pilot has reacted to the 35 crore rupee bribery allegations that are being made against him. He says he's saddened, not surprised. Srinivasan Jain joining us with the latest. What more can you tell us?
Thanks very much indeed. Sachin Pilot reacting to that allegation made against him by Congress MLA Giriraj Malinga. Now, Mr. Malinga today went on record to say that Sachin Pilot had apparently offered him a 35 crore bribe somewhere around December of last year to persuade him to join the BJP, and that he reported this bribe offer, Mr. Malinga claims, to Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot. Now, in response to that, Sachin Pilot, who otherwise has largely stayed away from making media statements, has broken his silence. He's issued a statement saying, "Saddened but not surprised to be at the receiving end of such baseless and vexatious allegations, done solely to malign me and stifle the legitimate concerns that I'd raised against the party leadership of the state as a member and MLA of the Congress. This is a further attempt to defame me and attacking my credibility. The narrative is being redirected to avoid addressing the main issue. I will be taking appropriate and strictest possible legal action against the MLA who made these accusations." He also goes on to say that he's sure more such concocted allegations will be thrown at me to cause aspersions, but I'll be unfettered and remain firm in my belief and convictions. In other words, Sachin Pilot is essentially saying that he is planning to sue this MLA for defamation for making these allegations. Now, this comes at a time when Sachin Pilot has been attacked not just by the MLA, but a very sharp attack on him by Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot as well, who used some very strong language, calling him a nikamma, nakara, someone who's useless, worthless, someone who's done absolutely no work other than pit people against each other. This is not the first time, incidentally, that Mr. Gehlot has personally and fairly strongly targeted Sachin Pilot. Now, sources close to Sachin Pilot say that this statement that he issued today is only aimed at rebutting the bribe allegation, not against Mr. Gehlot's statements. These sources telling us that the idea is not to make any statement against Mr. Gehlot at the moment, given that the entire disqualification matter is still in court, and that such responses from Sachin Pilot might be used by his rivals to try and bolster their case in court, that Sachin Pilot is against the Congress or he's against the party. And so the plan apparently is, according to these sources close to Sachin Pilot, that he will respond point by point to Mr. Gehlot's allegations that are being made against him, that these allegations are simply baseless, unwarranted, and in fact extremely out of order, but that this will be done once the court matter has been sorted out. Only after that, apparently, Sachin Pilot planning to have, as one has learned, an extensive press conference where he says that he will respond to each of the things Mr. Gehlot has said against him.
But Vasu, the other big question many will be wondering right now is whatever happened to the top leadership of the Congress directing the Chief Minister to tone down the rhetoric against Sachin Pilot. That happened a few days ago. Clearly, there's been some change of heart there.
Very good question. I was wondering the same thing when we saw, when one saw Mr. Gehlot almost double down on the attacks that he's been making against Sachin Pilot. Reached out to a senior Congress leader and was told that he was as surprised as anyone else when he saw these statements being made by Mr. Gehlot. He did confirm once again that indeed a word of caution had been conveyed to Mr. Gehlot by the Congress High Command, including by this leader, to ask him to tone down his attacks. But he wasn't clear at all why Mr. Gehlot is continuing with his attacks. Perhaps he believes there is someone in the Gehlot team who's advising him to make these attacks, or there could be some other reason. That's not entirely clear. But it is something which has raised eyebrows that Mr. Gehlot making these very, very personal attacks on Sachin Pilot at a time when both the Congress has apparently appeared and or seems to have asked him to show caution, and also, Rishika, the Congress has indicated even now that their doors are not close to Sachin Pilot. So as far as the official line or the line of the Congress top leadership or the High Command is concerned, they still seem to maintain that the line to Sachin Pilot is still open and to his MLAs is still open. But the Rajasthan leadership of the Congress, particularly Mr. Gehlot, seem to have taken a very different line, and they seem to be just on the attack path.